Whispers travel faster than blades through the blood-soaked halls of the Crimson Pavilion. In the shadow of his shattered alliance, Luo Feng surveys the ruin, the weight of betrayal pressing like iron on his chest. Every flicker of torchlight reveals the scars of yesterday's fury, yet the distant roar of approaching enemies promises that the night is far from over. Secrets, grudges, and untamed power coil together in a deadly dance, threatening to unravel all he has fought to protect. Brace yourself for recap. Martial God Asura, Chapter 119, Chapter 120, where choices carved in fire will ignite the path ahead. Listen closely, for the winds carry whispers of a darkness unlike any other. A darkness that devours courage and bends the brave to their knees. In the heart of a cavern where shadows cling like mist, Chu Feng faced a terror that could unmake the strongest souls. From the depths, a storm of greenish light surged forward, slicing through the stagnant air. It was no mere glow, no simple flame. It was a horde of monstrous beings, their wings slicing the air with a hum like blades. Each one was as tall as a man, their eyes burning crimson, bodies shimmering with a malevolent dark radiance. They were not creatures of the mortal realm. They were warriors, each carrying the might of an origin cultivator. Tens of thousands they were, a deadly legion advancing as one unstoppable tide toward Chu Feng. "Run!" Eggy's cry echoed through the cave, sharp and urgent, as she poured her power into Chu Feng, bolstering his cultivation with desperate speed. Chu Feng's heart pounded. There was no time to hesitate. His body glowed with the force of the origin power, and the Imperial Sky Technique surged through him, propelling him forward like a striking comet. But even as he fled, a radiant eruption blossomed beneath his feet. The anti-demon symbols, etched into the cavern walls, ignited with a crimson brilliance, flooding the ground with a fierce, purging light. The horde lunged into the red glare, and in an instant, they were annihilated. Explosions scattered fragments of darkness into nothingness, leaving no trace behind. Chu Feng's eyes widened. The symbols were more formidable than he had imagined. Without their protection, survival would have been impossible. "Don't stop. Keep moving." Eggy's voice cut through his awe. Chu Feng snapped back to the peril at hand and raced onward. Suddenly, the cavern trembled. The lake at its heart heaved violently, waves rising like towering beasts. They crashed and roared, and within the surge of deep, dark blue water, twin rays of green light pierced the gloom. Eyes. Eyes so vast, so fearsome, that even a single glance made Chu Feng's limbs shiver with primal terror. No pressure, no physical force, yet the sheer presence froze the soul, bending courage into dust. Dust. It was the evil spirit Eggy had warned him of. Its gaze alone could crush a man, and its body, what monstrous scale could that imply? The Imperial Sky Technique carried Chu Feng swiftly, yet even this mastery of speed could not outpace the colossal waves. The water lunged, a wall of raw force aiming to engulf him. Fear gripped him, but instinct and cultivation drove his movements. He planted his toes against the crest, borrowing the wave's own power to spring forward. Water sprayed in all directions, yet he emerged unharmed, riding the fury of the lake as if it were his steed. A roar shattered the cavern's echoes, a sound so fierce that even from a distance it shook Chu Feng to his very core. That was the evil spirit's voice, a vibration of terror itself. But as Eggy had said, it dared not cross the boundaries of the anti-demon symbols. Slowly, the tumultuous waves began to recede, their threat dissolving into calm. Chu Feng exhaled, heart pounding, relief mingled with awe. To stray beyond those protective sigils would have meant annihilation, a complete erasure of his very essence. Eggy's voice reminded him, gentle but firm. The evil spirit itself was not unbeatable. What was dangerous was weakness. Even the waves, tumultuous though they were, revealed treasures. Bones and spiritual beads, flung into the cave by the water's might, shimmered under the thin sheen of water. Chu Feng's eyes lit up, spotting countless spiritual beads glimmering like stars scattered across the wet stone. Guided by Eggy's counsel, he began a meticulous search. Hours passed, and patience bore fruit. Over 3,000 spiritual beads, along with 7 origin beads, lay before him. One origin bead alone equaled 1,000 spiritual beads. In total, his haul surpassed 10,000 spiritual beads. A fortune of cultivation treasures, enough to advance toward the fabled origin realm if he could seize more from the new excellence assembly. The journey, perilous as it had been, had proved more than worthwhile. Knowing he could go no further in the tomb, Chu Feng began the journey back. Emerging into the light, he saw the sun hanging high in the noon sky, time slipping away faster than he had anticipated. Panic flickered. He could not afford to miss the New Excellence Assembly, the source of further spiritual bounty. Quickly, he dissolved the spirit formation. The black hole that marked the tomb's entrance vanished, replaced by inconspicuous green grass, hiding the tomb's secrets from the untrained eye. Without pause, he dashed toward Vermilion Bird City, urgency lending wings to his stride. Meanwhile, the New Excellence Assembly was reaching its climax. In the city's Grand Plaza, the new disciples returned from trials, trophies in hand. 5 battle stages stood ready, awaiting champions, while the streets and balconies swelled with spectators. The city's notable figures had gathered, eager to witness the feats of emerging heroes. Chu Feng's next challenge awaited, the trials of glory and cultivation yet to be faced. The wind whispered of destiny, and Chu Feng's heart burned with the thrill of what was to come. In the heart of Vermilion Bird City, a storm of tension simmered beneath the tranquil plaza. The crowd's murmurs swirled like restless spirits, but all eyes were fixed on one figure who had yet to appear. Su Mei's gaze cut through the crowd, sharp as a blade, her brows knitted with a mixture of worry and impatience. "Where is Chu Feng? Why has he not returned?" she demanded, her voice trembling with restrained urgency. By her side, Suru, draped in flowing white silk that shimmered like moonlight on water, offered a softer reassurance. "Fear not," she said gently, her presence radiant and commanding. "With his cultivation, as long as he avoids the forbidden sectors, the Ghost-Horn Forest holds no threat for him. Perhaps he is indulging in the hunt, chasing greater glory, pressing his limits against the Ghost-Horn beasts." Suru's elegance was mesmerizing. Every step, every glance she offered seemed woven with the power to ensnare hearts. In the bustling plaza, her and Sumei's presence was magnetic. Men found themselves ensnared in the pull of their beauty, while women watched, a subtle twinge of envy tugging at their hearts. A voice, rich and deliberate, pierced the tension, carrying the weight of familiarity. "Sister Suro, Mayor, long time no see." From the crowd emerged a young man, graceful as a drifting cloud, a fan twirling in his hand like an extension of his elegance. Every movement exuded refinement. His name was Xianxia, a disciple of the illustrious Lingyun school, the pinnacle of cultivation in Azure Province. Already, he had achieved the 8th level of the Origin Realm, a fact that alone drew countless admiring gazes. Suru's eyes narrowed slightly as politeness softened her expression. "Xianxia, have you returned for the New Excellence Assembly as well?" she inquired, a measured tone hiding the currents of rivalry beneath. The Shangguan family, though overshadowed by the Su family's dominance in Vermilion Bird City, wielded formidable influence. Xianxia was the family's chosen young heir, a hidden gem of approval and legacy. Yet, his words betrayed arrogance, cutting through the assembled crowd like a sword. The New Excellence Assembly? Only a gathering of second-rate city stragglers. Their talent is insignificant compared to the elite of Vermilion Bird City. He waved his fan with an air of disdain, the arrogance of youth unmistakable. Su Mei, never one to conceal her opinions, shot a sharp glance his way. "Even if you wished to participate, your age would disqualify you, and truly, why waste time on such trifles?" Her voice was icy, laced with disapproval. A faint, mocking smile curved Xianxuanya's lips. "Mayor, how can you speak so to your future husband?" "Future husband? Ha! I acknowledge no such title. Speak carefully, or you will find yourself courting annoyance rather than admiration." Su Mei's words struck like a whip, and with a flash of defiance, she turned on her heel, leaving him behind. Xianxuanya's expression shifted, a mixture of indignation and calculated patience. "She is fierce. Yet, as my fiancé, I endure. But her words, they make us a spectacle before others." He murmured this to Suru, seeking sympathy and validation. Suru's laughter was light, her charm effortless. "Do not test her temper further," she advised, her eyes glinting with wisdom. "She is young, her fire natural, patience and sincere action may yet win her heart. Otherwise, even if you claim her hand, her heart will remain a fortress. And that is a path to failure." The cold gleam in Xianxuanya's eyes hardened. "Those I desire, I take. None shall stand in my way." Meanwhile, the New Excellence Assembly reached its climax. The returning disciples, each representing their prestigious schools, had gathered their spoils from the Ghosthorn Forest. The top 10 were announced with ceremony. Wan Wenpeng from Golden Purple City claimed the 10th position, while Chen Wanxi of Lingyun School stood proudly at second. First place belonged, as tradition dictated, to a disciple from Windcloud City, a city of second-rate renown, but unparalleled hunting prowess. The winner had slain an astounding 415 Ghosthorn beasts, nearly double Chen Wanxi's tally. Yet, in the midst of the celebrations, a voice cut through the assembly. Sume strode forward, her aura commanding silence. "Wait," she commanded, her displeasure unmistakable. The host, deferential, inclined his head. "Third lady, what troubles you? There is still one who has not presented his prey. How can the assembly commence without him?" Her eyes were sharp, scanning the assembly. A guard fumbled, flipping through his records, and finally spoke. It is Chu Feng, disciple of the Azure Dragon School from Golden Purple City, core disciple, Spirit Realm, 8th level. A ripple of disbelief spread through the crowd. His cultivation, modest among these titans, seemed laughably insufficient. Many grumbled, deeming him unworthy of the weight. Yet Sume's gaze blazed with conviction. "How can you presume he will not make the top 10? The host, trapped between etiquette and fear, dared not oppose her. Suru approached, her calm a contrast to her sister's intensity. "Then we wait, as the rules dictate," she advised, restoring order with her serene presence. Minutes ticked, tension mounting like a taut bowstring, until finally, a small, unassuming figure pushed through the crowd. Dust clung to his robes, sweat glistened upon his brow, yet determination burned in his eyes. "Sorry, everyone! I'm late!" Chu Feng announced, stepping into the center of the plaza. The assembly fell into stunned silence, the air thick with anticipation. A legend, humble in appearance but vast in potential, had arrived, and thus the tale of glory, rivalry, and the clash of hearts and wills was poised to unfold.